welcome to our Crazy Life Scotland. My name's Fiona, and in today's craft and chat video I am joining the pumpkin party a little bit on the late side. Everyone has already made their pumpkins for autumn and they're ready to leave the party while I'm just arriving, because I kept saying, no, I do Christmas crafts all year round. So I was like, no, I'm not stopping myself to do some autumn pumpkin. And then I decided I wanted to get on the pumpkin train. So here I am. I went on to Temu, good old Temu, and I got this mould. I've not done it yet. So that is what I'm going to do in today's video. Now, before I start, I have put the J. Diction resin that I'm going to be using into some hot water, both bottles, because I've been getting bubbles recently, and it occurred to me that it might be because the temperature here in Scotland isn't great at the moment, and to be fair, it wasn't really most of the summer either, so it's maybe a bit on the cool side. So I've got them in a bath while I see to this. Now my vision is going to be to brush the stock with avocado green mica powder, and then this lovely leaf here I am going to use this apple green. The rest of the lid I'm going to leave. I'm not going to dust that with anything. And then my idea is in here, come on, come out, got a hair. I'll get that in a minute. In here I'm just wanting to put in some orange resin that I don't want to be opaque. I'm not going to use mica powder, I'm going to use alcohol ink, because I want to add some of these lovely leaves that I got from Amazon. They might be too big, I might need to cut them down, but we'll see. And I might put lights inside it as well, so I don't want it to be opaque. I might add glitter, you know what I'm like, we'll wait and see. Right, so let's get into this. I'm going to start by dusting in here. Okay, so I'm going to use a small brush because it's quite a small area to get into, and we can't turn it inside out. So I am going to try not to get any of the rest of the mould with the mica, but I'll clean it up if I do. So I'm just going to, I really need to get little tubs for all my micas because it's not easy using the packet. Going to get, oh see, because of the static, it's all went everywhere already. I could have done it in like coloured resin, but to be honest, I'm too impatient. I don't want to wait for that one to cure before pouring any more in. For the purposes of this video. I don't know if that's actually getting right into the sides or not. I'll make sure there's plenty in there because I can always dump it out. And I suppose it's not sticking to the mould very well. I suppose when I unmould it, I can always touch it up if I need to. So I'm just going to give this a wee tap tap. Get rid of any excess. Yeah, I don't know if you can see in there. It doesn't look like it's all sticking very well, but we'll give it a go. Take a wipe, get rid of this. Oh, I'm such a messy crafter. Right, got a baby wipe. To try to take out as much of this as I can. I'm not too worried at the leaf because the mix of the greens would be quite nice at that point. It's just the rest. I don't want there to be any mica, because my vision is maybe putting lights in it, because it's an autumn pumpkin, not a Halloween pumpkin. I will do it again as a Halloween pumpkin, but not today, because we are in autumn. Right, so now I am, oh, I haven't tried this yet. I got this from Temu because I saw it in someone else's haul. I can't remember who it was, I'm sorry, but apparently if you do this, it's really good at getting all the mica off your brush. I don't know if that inside white bit's meant to come out or not. Yeah, looks like it's worked. Okay. Some apple green. And if any of the apple green goes down into the stem, it's okay, because basically whatever touches the mould first is what you see when you unmould it. Let's make sure that I'm getting into all the little leafy bits. And it is a small brush that I use, because if I use anything bigger, I make a mess. Right, let's give this another tappy tap. Oh, it's stuck! It suctioned itself down. That was cool. I don't think I've made too much of a mess with this bit. There we go. Right, now it is time to mix up my resin. I am not going to do that on screen because I don't want to bore you to death, and I don't want the video to be too long. I've not even thought about how much I'm going to make, because I've not used this mould before. The lid's not going to take much at all, and I never actually measure with water. I know you can do, but there's always spare moulds lying about if I make too much. So I would rather make too much than not enough. And to be fair, the pumpkin bit is quite big, so I might do 80 mils of each. Where's my wee Sharpie? I like to mark on the mould where I'm going up to, because these, the mould, the jug, because these Timu jugs, the measurements are in the inside and it's quite hard to see them. So there we go, I'm doing about 80 of each. The J-Diction is 1:1 by volume. Right, so they've had long enough in their bath. I am going to get mixing, and then I'll come back to you once it's all mixed up. Right, it's voiceover Fiona now, because I've got my PPE on. I have mixed up my resin, and I'm just adding a small amount to the jug, because this is going to be for the lid. Okay, so now I'm ready to add some alcohol ink. I'm going to add this orange one. First of all, try to get you in shot a bit better. Okay, it doesn't look overly strong, so I add a good sort of 6-7 drops and think I'll give that a little mix up and see what we think. So I give it a good stir round, making sure that I get all the ink off the edges of the cup. I decide there's not quite enough colour, so I go in with a few more drops of the orange alcohol ink. Then give it another good stir up. Looking at it now, I'm happy with the amount of colour. Oh, little hair, I always get hairs in my resin. But it's a bit too yellow orange for me. I want it to be a bit sort of more browny orange, burnt orange. So I've got a ginger alcohol ink that I haven't used before, and I think that might be quite a good one to add. So I'm just cutting the top off it just now, and I'm going to add some of that. Now this does look quite dark, so I only add a few drops of it and then give it a good stir up. Again, I make sure I get every bit from the sides of the cup, and I try to do it carefully so I'm not introducing too many bubbles into it. Right, I'm quite happy with the colour here, I think. It's more of a pumpkin orange now. So I am taking my lid and I'm just going to gently pour some directly into the stalk at first, where I've got the darker green. And I'm just going to give it a little squeeze to make sure it gets right into all the bits in the stalk. Make sure it goes right down, there's not too many bubbles. And then I add some more, covering up the leaf. I don't like mica powder floating about, so I try to do these bits first. And then I'm going in with the rest right into the mould. Another hair. That's the problem when you've got 5 dogs. So I don't fill it quite to the top, I fill it pretty much to the top, and then I think, right, okay, I better make sure that it's getting into all those little sort of petal bits, all those bits round the edge, because if you get air trapped in there, you get bubbles. So I just go around and squeeze it all first, and then I think, it doesn't look like it's all getting in there, so I add a little bit more resin. I don't want to spill it, but I think there's just not enough here for it to go in all those little curvy bits. So I slowly pour it in. I've made almost exactly the right amount. I was quite impressed. That never happens. So again, I start squeezing round the edges. But then it doesn't look like it's getting in all the bits properly, and I've got a bit of spillage there. Get back in. So I think what I'm actually going to do now is just go in with my pokey tool, my dotty tool, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that all of the resin is going into all those areas. I might end up still having bubbles, but I thought it was the best chance of actually making sure that it was all there. Once it starts flowing into these little areas, it should just carry on, because you sort of break the airlock. And that's kind of what I'm banking on here. Another hair. So, yep, just make sure it's going in all of the little areas. And I don't want to disturb it too much where the mica is, so I don't get any floating mica. And once I have done that, I give it a little spritz with isopropyl alcohol just to try to get rid of any surface bubbles. And then I put that to the side. Sorry about these dogs barking. So now I'm ready to make up the resin for the main part of the pumpkin. I'm just using the same cup because it's the same colours that are going to be going in. So I think my plan here is that I'm going to add the same amount roughly of the orange and the pumpkin. So I will do that. I'll speed through it a little bit for you. I'll put it on fast forward. Now I'm happy that the colour looks similar to the lid. So I get the pumpkin part over now, and I decide I'm going to put some of these leaves in down the edges before I pour the resin in. Because there's different colours, I decide just to tip some out onto my desk so I can decide which colours I'm going to put where. And I think, right, I do want to have one right on the bottom bit there so that you can see it when the bowl is, the little sort of trinket dish thing is open. And then I think, right, so what I'm going to do, the other ones, I'm just going to pop down the side. I wasn't sure if they would be too big or not, but they seem to be fine. So I'm just randomly putting some down the sides. I haven't put any resin in at this point, and I'm not sure whether the leaves are going to stick through the resin at the top. We will find out. I've never added leaves like this to resin before, so let's just give it a go. It's half the fun of playing with resin, isn't it? Experimenting. So I'm just making sure they're relatively evenly spread and the colours are evenly spread. And yeah, that's what I do here. And I think I'm quite happy with that. So I take that leaf off because I know it's just going to float away as soon as I start pouring the resin. And of course I can't resist adding glitter. I got this bottle of glitter from The Works, which is a sort of hobby and craft shop here in the UK. And it's really good because it's got a perfect spout on it for putting your glitter in. Sorry, that was out of shot there. But it saves the glitter going everywhere. So I'm quite happy with the amount that I put in there. I'm just going to give that a mix through. I did speed this up, I didn't stir it that quickly. Now I'm ready to start pouring. So I just pour it in the middle and let it flow down the sides. Get rid of the hairs again. And I've got no idea what kind of movement the leaves are going to get down the side, but I just go with it. So I keep going, pouring relatively slowly, trying not to get too many bubbles in, because bubbles are a nightmare for resin crafters. And I think, okay, I need some more. I can't remember how much was in that one, but I think, well, I know that I started with 160 mils, so I'll roughly be able to work it out for next time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make up the same mixture again with the resin that I've got left. I'm going to add the orange and the ginger and the glitter, and then I will come back to you once that's done. And through the magic of editing, as quick as a flash, that's me ready to keep pouring. So I got it as close to the same colour and same amount of glitter as I could, and then I just go in and pour it again, and I soon think, oh, I've not got enough and I've got no mixed resin left. What am I going to do now? I hate it when that happens, and I think, right, nothing else for it, I'm just going to have to scrape out as much as I can of this, we don't want to waste it, and then I'm going to have to make up some more resin. But I think to myself, well, since I'm going to have to make up resin from scratch anyway, why don't I shake things up a little bit? So I decide to let this not fully cure, but I think I'm going to put it on my heating mat for a couple of hours to let it get really sticky. And then the next lot of resin that I mix up, I am going to do something a little bit different with it. So as you can see, I've scraped it all out, and now I think, right, all of the bits of resin that are on this bit here, I'm just going to scrape into the sides. And once I've got as much of it into the sides as I can, I decide to clean it up with a baby wipe because, oh no, first of all, I'm going to give it a little shake, a little dunt, a little tap, just to make sure all of the resin is down into the little nooks and crannies. And hopefully sometime around now, about now, Fiona, yep, you've squeezed it. Are we going in with the baby wipe? Yes, we are. Just to clear off any of the resin that's on that bit there, because I'm going to put something different in later on, so I don't want that to cure. So now I'm going to leave that to cure on my heating mat for about 2.5 to 3 hours, and I'll come back to you. So this is about 2.5 hours later, and to be honest, it is pretty hard. It's pretty much not obviously cured enough to demold, but it's harder than I had actually wanted it to be. But never mind, I had wanted it to still be a little bit soft so that we might get a little bit of mixing with this next layer, but I don't think that's going to happen. But it's fine, it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do differently this time is I'm going to take my mixed resin, but I'm not going to add any alcohol inks. I'm just going to add the glitter this time, and I'm hoping it gives it a nice sort of contrast between the alcohol ink with the glitter and then just the glitter once it's all cured. But we'll see. Again, it's an experiment. I love doing that. It's always good to find out how it's worked. So I'm just stirring in the glitter. There's nothing else being added to this resin. Giving it a really good stir. Once I'm happy that it's all properly mixed through, I am going to start pouring again. So I'm just going to do it the same as I was before. There's not a huge difference in it that I can see at this point, but hopefully once it's unmoulded you will see the contrast. So I'm not filling it right up to the top just now. You can see it rising slightly there in the mould. I am finishing what is in the cup at the moment. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add some more of the leaves. So you can see I'm taking a leaf there, a leaf even, popping it down the side, and I'm just going to use my tweezers to help get that right down inside. I thought it would be a wee bit different. I don't know what the difference will be bubble-wise between putting the leaves in and then the resin, and then this time I put the resin in and then adding the leaves. So I will speed it up a little bit while I add the leaves down the sides. Then I just give it another bit of a squish to try to make sure that the leaves are nice and coated in the resin and that they're going to lie where they're going to lie. There's no rhyme or reason. I've just tried to roughly space them out evenly. And then I decide to put the leaf on the top. I do decide to go with the red one because I really like that colour. So now I am going to mix up some more. I've got pre-mixed resin, but I'm just going to add some more glitter to it and then start pouring again. I'm going to make about the same amount because I don't know how much it will take, and I've got spare moulds anyway if I make too much. So there's my clear resin, and I will just come in with my glitter just now. That's me showing you I've got a feather stuck to my fingers. Never you have feathers close by when you've got sticky gloves on. So here comes the glitter. This is what I mean about that little sort of nozzle that it's got. It's so much better for pouring. It's a bit more controlled. Right, now I'm going to give it a mix again and then I'll come back to you. Okay, it's all mixed in and I'm just going to pour it in again. And I can see the leaves moving. I'm like, don't you dare go down the sides. I don't want you to go down the sides. I think I better stop and put it back. Right, behave yourself. Stay there. And I just carry on pouring until I'm pretty sure the mould is as full as it needs to be. Just give it a wee squish there and see if we've got enough in. Again, I've never used it before, so I don't know how full I need to fill it. And I think, yep, that looks about right. And I believe I'm going to give it another scoosh with alcohol. Then out comes the spare moulds. I've got this angel wing mould, which I absolutely love. And I thought that might be quite nice actually. It'll have a nice sort of goldy tinge to it because it's just the glitter. It's not the orange alcohol ink. So they'll be nice and glittery. So I pour some of my resin in, pretty much fill up the mould. Give it a little squish. Make sure that it's in all the little bits because this has got little feather bits inside it. So you want to make sure the resin is right in all of the little bits. Give it a wee tap and a little squish. It looks like lips in this lighting. Then I decide I want to add some of the little iridescent sequins that I've got. I just love these in moulds like this. It just gives it that little sort of shimmer, the way the light catches it. Really nice. So I just decide to tip some directly in here. And I try to get it pretty even, but it doesn't work. So I take my pokey tool and I just decide to sort of mix it in a bit. Make sure that it's relatively even, the mix. Oh, of course I decide it's not enough, so I tip some more in, perhaps a little bit more than I should have, and I'm basically just mixing it through again there. Sorry, you can't see for the little box that I've got in my hand, but I'm just doing the same again, just trying to evenly mix it through. And of course, I'm not content and want to add just a little bit more and then go, whoops, and tip way too much in. So I just take my little silicone tool, and at first I'm taking it out and putting it on the mat, and then I thought, no, just put it in the actual cup, and then you can use the mixture for something else, because as you can see, I've still got some resin left. So because I'd added so much, it was overflowing a little bit with resin anyway, so I'm putting some of the resin back in the cup as well. Just to make sure I've not got too much overpour. Then I'm just making sure that it's all in all of the little angles and the creases of the mould. And then I think, okay, that's enough. I've done enough with this mould. What am I going to pour now? So I get my trusty gift box mould out. I use this all the time for spare resin, and I'm needing to make quite a lot of them just now anyway. So I decided I'm going to add even more of the iridescent flakes into the actual cup of resin now, like that, and give it a good stir round, and that way it's going to give the parcels a nice shimmer. Then I just start pouring. Now all 4 of the gift boxes are different sizes, but none of them take up an awful lot of resin, which is really good. So I'm just pouring them up to the top. And then I'm just going to make sure that it's all in the little nooks and crannies, because there are little sort of embellishments in there that can get bubbles if you're not careful. A little squish and a squeeze, and that is that mould finished. So I'm just going to put these to the side, and I will come back to you in 24 hours when it's cured. Good morning everyone, it's now time for my favourite part, the unmoulding. I am going to start with the extras first, so let's have a look at the wings. They might not be up to much because there wasn't really a lot of colour. Oh, they're nice. They are nice. I will shine them up with some clear resin and they'll be lovely. They're still a wee bit bendy, but that's fine. I love the shimmer of the sequins through them. Look. Yeah, I'll shine them up. It's just because it's a matte mould. And the little gifts. Oh, I've got quite a bit of overpour. I can fix that. Oh, look, I've got 2 together. Yay. And again, I will colour the ribbon and bow details in. Get off. You can see how soft it is still. I'm just too impatient. Excuse the dogs playing in the background. It's nice. I do quite like them with just a hint of glitter. Now on to the main event. Will we start with the lid? Yes, let's start with the lid. I don't know how easy it's going to be to get it out. I'm hoping we've got resin in all these little edgy bits. Still got the overpour there. Right. Now remember, it's the first time I've used this mould, so I've got no idea how I'm going to get it out. Oh, I see a hole where there's been a bubble. Yep, quite a few. Oh, just the way that the mould is, it's going to be difficult to stop that happening. Right, come out. Can't get the stalk out. Oh my goodness. There we go. So the mould's nice and clean. Are we ready? Oh, I love it. I love it. I have got a little smudge of the green mica there, but that's okay. And yeah, those little bubbles are annoying. I don't know what is going on with the J-Diction resin. I mean, I know that where the holes are, that'll be my fault. But you can see all the micro bubbles there. And that was after it had been in a warm bath, but I love the stalk and the leaf. I love the detail. Yay! Right, let's see how easy it is to get this bad boy out. Oh, need to be careful because I've got an edge there that can cut. Oh, it looks like it's not going to be bad at all to get out. Now remember, I did this kind of two-tone, so what is the top of the mould should be darker than the bottom. Get my mould back to normal. Oh, that's outside down, Fiona. There we go. So this is what it looks like at the bottom. Again, I can get rid of all that. That's not an issue. Remember, I wasn't sure how far to fill it up, so I went a wee bit too far. I do like the leaf there. You can see the two layers, which I was trying to avoid, but obviously I left it too long on the heating mat. Are we ready? Oh, look. I like it. What do you think? You can see the leaf at the bottom because it's just the glitter at that part. Well, those two have kind of floated together, but that's okay. So this is the part that had the alcohol ink in it as well as the glitter. The leaves are shown up nice. And then down here it was just the glitter, and you can see more leaves. I like that. What do we think? Let's see what the lid looks like. Yay! Oh, look at that leaf. It's so sticky outy. That goes on nice. I like that. I'm going to put some lights in it and see how it looks. So I've got these Timu lights. I think I've used them for so many things. That's why they're all things like that. Let's check they're still working. Yeah, oh, they're different colours as well. So I will put them in here. Like that. Get in. And put the ring light off. 2 seconds, put the big light off. Wow. I hope that is showing up on camera. That is looking amazing. Absolutely love it. You can just see that sitting on a nice cosy autumn night, sitting by the telly. Wow. And when the lights are on, you can actually see loads of tiny micro bubbles as well, because there wasn't any glitter in that one. The glitter does hide it there. But I've got Let's Resin this time, so hopefully we'll find out if that still makes bubbles. It'll be user error. Isn't that nice? I like that. I really do. I think I wish I had put glitter in the lid now, and I probably would have if I'd known that I was going to do it in the main bit, but I didn't realise at the time. So obviously I've put lights in it, but you could use it for anything. You could put a battery operated candle in it. You could and just have it sitting like that. You could have like potpourri in it, or potpourri as some people call it. I don't know which way you're meant to say it. Or you could put little sweeties in it. And it's just a gorgeous little decoration for autumn. Love it. Like I said, I will be doing a different one with making it Halloween. So I might do that next week. Actually, no. There's something else that I want to do next week for Halloween. But yes, I definitely will at some point. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, I'm going to head off now. I hope you've enjoyed this and maybe learned a thing or two. I'm still learning as well. Remember, I'm very new to resin. And if you have enjoyed it and found it useful, please do hit the thumbs up button. Feel free to share it with anyone you think it might help. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And talk to me in the comments below. What do you think of it? Do you like it? What could I have done different? Have you got any idea why I'm getting all the micro bubbles in the Jade Action resin when I never used to? Let me know. Okie dokie everybody, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!